Good morning. Good morning. What's going on, you beautiful people? So it's crazy how, and I'm just gonna speak to the men. It's crazy how things in our, right now I wrote a letter to my dad, and I typically text him every other morning, or whenever I get the feeling, I'll send him a text message and I'll just say how I feel, or uh, just maybe the last couple of them just been "I love you," and he doesn't respond. And I don't know that I do that so that I can get him to respond. I don't think that that's important to me. I think it's more so because my goal is to build a better relationship with my kids, and until I let go of whatever, um, how can I say it? Until I let go of whatever I feel is a setback or a holdback from my past or my relationship with my father, because you got to remember something. The mother's very important because her job is going to be to provide nurture and to provide love and to provide a certain type of love and discipline, and that multiplies by 10 when it's a little girl, and then the same thing with the father, and then that multiplies by 10 when it's a boy, because there's certain things, there's habits that he's going to pass down to his son that are going to allow him to be one of two things. If he's an alcoholic father, it's going to allow his son to pass down being an alcoholic father to his son. If you look at the bushman in Africa, when their son becomes a certain age, they have a ritual of taking them out to the forest or taking them out into the jungle and into the open plain, and literally with a bow and arrow, and setting them out there and say, "Here, survive. Come back with something to eat in the morning." So depending on the culture, and even in the United States, the culture can be a multitude of things. They could be the culture of being a good father who picks their kids up and does all that really cool stuff, or it could be a father who the child sees them beating on their mother. You know, it could be a multitude of things. So I sent them a letter, and I simply stated that I can't be mad at you. My relationship now I have a blended family. Now our oldest son he's a result of another relationship that my wife was in previous to us, and that was such a long time ago because Malachi is already 17 years old, and my way of communicating with him is through text message. Text message, or you guys see me write notes, and I write these notes out a couple times a week, and he actually has them all over his wall. But now he's got a lot of other things going on in his life, and I know that he does. When I was 17, I was in prison and I was going through the system. He's going through a different type of system, and I don't know we come from two different worlds at this age and at this stage because of where I was at physically and mentally. And I don't say any of that to make an excuse. I simply say that to say that I recognize the difference. And being though that he is at a different place in a different phase of life, he needs something different from me my pride won't allow me to give it because I don't know how. So my message to my dad this morning was, I'm not mad at you because you're not giving me something that clearly was not given to you. That never became more evident than at the point when I was writing this, and I text message people, and because I can get out what I need to say. When I was in prison, I would sit down, I would write these big old long letters, and I bet people didn't even read them. But I said, I can't be mad at you for not giving me something that was never given to you. Because if his father had given him love, that's such an awesome, good feeling. And the fact that we're a blended family and I show love to Silas and Sanaya, that probably even multiplies and agitates the situation. You know, if you look at a lot of our pictures and you go through my Facebook profile, you won't see a lot of Malachi in there because he's you know, it could be he's at a point in his life where he's just, you know, that's just what, when you're 17, that's just what you do. You just don't get it. I don't know. I don't know. I was flicking up on the prison yard. But there's certain things that us as men, we pass down to our children. And those habits are, you know, whatever you exhibit. Like I said, it could be an alcoholic. It could be an abuser. Mentally, you know, physically and verbally. But I'm not mad at him for not doing something that he did not know how to do. You know, it's just, it's odd enough that I've surrounded myself with great men. And you know, I believe my dad is a great man. I never will take that away from him. To survive some of the shit he's had to survive without blowing his own damn brains out is a testament to who he is and what he's about. But this thing called fatherhood is just a different ball game completely, because it's hard to give in an emotional state when we're not wired that way, when emotional was not given to us. And it's easier to pull in somebody else's kids and show them love because they don't think any way about you than it is your own. I've been guilty of that. He's guilty of that. But at the closing of it, and I don't even believe I hit send on it. That was kind of funny. I hit send just to kind of let you know how much I don't care what anybody thinks about me. I much rather portray my thought and move through it than to hold back on it. I'll tell you something that I heard real interesting yesterday that it freaked me out a little bit. But I ultimately told him that I need to break that. I need to turn the tides on that way of doing things. And I don't know how. I don't have a clue. I'm clueless. I pray about it every morning. When I say I pray about it every morning, I'm not speaking figuratively. I'm speaking literally. So I know that answer is coming or it's here. And I ask that I have the ability to hear it and to be obedient to it. But I was listening to my favorite person. Well, Joel Osteen used to be my favorite person. I like anointed people because, boy, when they speak, it feels like it's tapping right into your heart. Now, I was listening to TD Jakes, and he was telling a little story about something he was going through, and it was family related, and he brought it to his wife's attention. And his wife, they were laying in bed, so they were having their little, people lay in bed, and they, that's a good time to go ahead and have a conversation. Matter of fact, me and my wife had a conversation about what I'm talking about right now last night. So just imagine TD Jakes and his wife in bed, and that's perfect time. It's quiet, everybody's laying down, nobody's got nothing to do. Let's have this conversation. And it was about his family, and it was about some things that he had worked really hard to put together. And his wife simply looked at him. She said, "You're gonna let the devil just like that? Just, you done fought for this, and you're just gonna let the devil take it just like that?" And I say that to say, I remember this brother was praying over me, is praying for me and my family. And what he said was, he says, "I see what you're doing." And he says, "Understand something, that when you make a stand for what's good and what's right, you're going to have a target on your back." And he was talking about a spiritual target. But you can have a spiritual target, and you can have a human target on your back, because people want to talk about you. People want to degrade you or say things about you to try to demean you or to try to make you look little or try to bow you out. For whatever reason they do that. I don't know. That's neither here nor there. But be careful, because when you're trying to build something, you're gonna have a target on your back. You're going to have a target on your back. So you better be prepared with an answer. You better be prepared to fight. You better be prepared to stand your ground. You better be prepared to hold it down. And right now, when I heard that yesterday, I must have replayed it 2 or 3 times because I was in the middle of doing something else, but I was trying to catch it. And I said, if I let my relationship with my son go, then I just let the devil win. Everything that I fought for means nothing if I can't get over my phobia or relearn something. I've relearned a lot of things, so I have the ability. But if I can't relearn or learn how to love my kids, then what did I do all this for? And I'm telling you, that's hard. That's hard. My dad, the only time my dad hugged me was when I was in prison. And I think that's because he felt guilty. I don't know. Like, oh shit, if it wasn't for me. Well, maybe so. Maybe so. But I'll never let anybody have that much credit when it regarding or concerning my destiny and how my life, what direction it went in. No, that's the way it was supposed to play out. But I'll leave you with this. I have a responsibility bigger than anything else in this planet to making sure that some way, somehow, I convey my love, my affection, and what I feel to all of my kids as a man, so that they know how to do it to their kids as men. That's it. There's nothing else. If you're a single dad, this doesn't apply to you. But you gotta do your best.